of these two famous old clubs. This is a repeat of the 2014 Grand Final as the Warriors go for revenge. It's Wigan against St Helens. The teams then, there's no Matty Bowen for Wigan at fullback, so it's another chance for the young Ryan Hampshire to impress. Josh Charnley still out, so Dom Manfredi continues on the wing. Up front, Michael McIlauram's making his 200th career appearance. And watch out for John Bateman, who's having a wonderful second season with the Warriors, and he was the star of this fixture last Good Friday. On the bench, Ryan Sutton returns to the side. He has missed the last two. Well, St Helens have lost skipper John Wilkin to injury, but Paul Wellens plays his 59th game against the old enemy. Only his coach has played more. And the change at half-back sees Lance O'Hire playing in the role for the first time this season. Up front, James Roby was taken off concussed in the defeat at Hull KR last week, but he's passed all the tests, he's fit to play. Joe Greenwood, who looked like he was out for a good while 2 weeks ago when he injured the arm against Warrington, makes a dramatic return to the side. And on the bench, Mark Flanagan drops out of the starting lineup last week, and Andre Cervello plays for the first time in 3 weeks. So we have a full house here at the DW Stadium for this repeat of the Grand Final. Wigan fifth in the table, 5 points behind St Helens coming into the weekend, who lost their unbeaten start to the campaign at Hull KR last week. And I just wonder whether today will be St Helens' day. They were beaten 22-24 at Hull KR. Even Kieran Cunningham conceded that Rovers were the best team. It was a defeat that came at a cost too. Their two major close season signings, Travis Burns and Atelier Bay, miss their first derby meeting with the Wigan Warriors. Burns has got a triple fracture of the cheekbone following the hit with the shoulder by James Green of Hull KR. He's got a one-match ban. And the Saints chairman, Eamon McManus, far from happy with that, or the fact that Green was not shown a red card on the night. Well, they have come here and they have poked a stick at Wigan. They've brought the Super League trophy with them, the Saints. And that, of course, will be up for grabs again at Old Trafford on October the 9th this year. And these are the two sides that faced each other in the 2014 finale. And what an explosive night that turned out to be. Big day for Matty Smith. Matty Smith, the former St Helens halfback, 8 goals against Wakefield last week. He played for Saints against Wigan in the 2010 Grand Final. And all the pre-match paraphernalia is now over. St Helens know that Leeds have won at Castleford. They know they are 2 points off the pace, and Wigan know that they're a little bit further off the pace. Michael McIlauram leads his men out. Paul Wellens does the same for St Helens. And really they both know that a win is imperative, not just for their supporters, but to keep tabs on Leeds at the top of the table. The DW Stadium on a day like this, packed to capacity, there's nothing better.
Yeah, you can feel it in the blood, the tension. This is going to be a big one. Very rarely do these two sides disappoint us. As Eddie's already mentioned, a repeat of last year's Grand Final. And St Helens, they've brought that trophy along to irritate the Wigan fans. It's been an up and down season so far for the Cherry and Whites of Wigan. But St Helens know and realise that Leeds, as Eddie just mentioned, they've gone to the top of the table. They want to try and get it. Obviously, Eddie, they will be missing John Wilkin, who has been this season absolutely superb, not only as a player, but as a leader, as a skipper. It'll be interesting to see how St Helens fare without the magic of Wilkin.
Well, a lovely little sideline. It is Wigan against Saints. It's Wigan-born Sean Wayne in the coaching box for Wigan against St Helens-born Kieran Cunningham. A novel occasion. Both will make their players very aware of what is at stake here. The first time since 1985-86 that two local men have been at the helm in this local derby. Colin Clark was in charge then for Wigan, and Alex Murphy was the coach of St Helens.
Two great players, but there's plenty out there tonight that want to do it. And can Matty Smith, who was magnificent all last season, can he recover? Can he get that last year. They'll certainly need him out there tonight.
What about this atmosphere? If you're a player standing down there, these are the days you want as a rugby league player, Eddie.
Yes, you do. You're waiting for the first blow of the whistle from the referee, Phil Bentham, and here we go. The local derby is underway. The big city derby last night, we've had Castleford and Leeds at lunchtime, and now here we are in the one that purely and simply because of the attendance here today of over 23,000 makes it the biggest local derby in the business.
And we're just seeing a run there from McCarthy Scarsbrook, and before that Alex Walmsley, and now we see Kyle Amor. Those three really have to make an impact down the middle of this wonderful stadium.
There's Walmsley getting to his feet and playing it to Roby. Big boost for Saints that he is fit to play. And Jordan Turner was charged down by Liam Mossop. It's a huge bounce and it is dropped kindly. And here they come with the first try. What a start for the Wigan Warriors. It was a kick from Turner. It bounced off the back of the charging, onrushing players. It was a huge bounce that bounced back kindly from Manfredi, and Wigan take the lead.
You test your arm in this game, and they failed to get the ball away. Jordan Turner took an eternity there. It's charged down and it got the bounce, and Manfredi, he gets an early gift. You always put the numbers through. You can see that it was very, very low with a kick from Turner. It wasn't going to go high. It bounced absolutely marvellous for this man.
Stuart, just clarify that for us. Was it a charge down? Was it a straight rebound, this?
Well, it's a charge down because he's turned his back and kept going towards the ball. He's put himself into the ball. So that's a charge down. But either way, it's all play on from there.
What a contrast to Old Trafford in October. Inside 2 minutes, Wigan were down to 12 men. Inside 2 minutes here today on Good Friday, Wigan are going to be 6-0 up. Matty Smith adds the extras. A green start for the Warriors.
Well, they don't have the regular kicker out there, St. Helens, so they've gone with a +2 kick. What I mean is 2 passes before it gets to Jordan Turner. And that allowed Lee Mossop the time to get up and put pressure on a man who's not a regular kicker. He would have been desperate, Turner that is, to get his first kick away cleanly. Wasn't on that occasion. Landed in Domfrat Manfredi's hands after a bounce, and he did very well to finish it, bursting through 3 tackles. Showed a lot of strength and a lot of speed. But if I was St. Helens, I'll be getting the ball to the kicker quicker. Don't put him under so much pressure so soon in the game.
But it just shows you have to be alert in this game of rugby league, and the winger certainly was.
Well, he got the first 2 tries of his season against Wakefield last week, did Manfredi. He's been out on dual registration at Workington, and he's just got the 3rd try of his campaign, and the 3rd try inside a week. Well, that will have set the platform for what's to come.
It's amazing, isn't it? You know, many wingers just hang back. You got the ricochet and you think, oh, well, it's not going to go our way and I'll keep out that way. But he put himself into such a good position. Saints now really have to try to rough it up, make sure that Wigan don't get anywhere near that halfway line when it comes to the last.
To reiterate the point that Brian made here, just watch where Wigan put up this thing. If you imagine, the most pressure you're going to get is probably at the start of the match as a kicker. So you want the ball early, you want it quick, and you want a clear view of where you're going to kick the ball. John Turner, who's not even a regular kicker of the ball for St. Helens, is giving it in the most difficult circumstances possible.
Well, we did mention...
the time from the play the ball to the time to him, no wonder that Lee Mossop's on him on top. It was a self-inflicted 6 points for me.
Yeah, Phil, as we mentioned before the kickoff, you know, how much would they miss John Wilkin? Wilkin would have given himself plenty of room. He would have got that kick away.
Well, they look eager, Wigan. They're quickly out of the blocks, and they are hounding St. Helens to the ground.
Boy, that was a big hit there by Michael McAlorum. He loves nothing better than these derby games. Keep your eye on him, number 9 from Wigan. He puts it all about.
Roby with the kick over the top. And here is Ryan Hampshire. deputising for Matty Bowen, who is out again today.
Managed to grab a word, Eddie, just on the way up here with Sean O'Loughlin, the injured Wigan superstar. Asked him how he's feeling about this game. He said it'll all come down to how we can control the big St Helens forwards. One of them involved there, Kyler Moore with the beard, involved in the scuffle. But he looked down at the bench when I showed him the team sheet, and it was the St Helens bench that he was a little concerned about, and he knew his side would have to contain them to have a chance of getting on and winning this big game.
Joe Greenwood with the high tackle on Joe Burgess, and he provoked the response from the Wigan player.
Yeah, and then he thought he'd give him a nice little dig in the ribs.
Penalty to Wigan.
Well, we expect this. The tension as they walked out, the players, the atmosphere. We know they're all professionals, but it can get to you.
This is the first meeting, of course, since the Old Trafford Grand Final. McIlaurin gets the ball in field to Williams, and he then helps it on to Tony Clubb. This Clubb, Sergeant St Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook. 3 Londoners out there today.
It's important now that, you know, Wigan, they've got that lucky bounce, they got the lead, is to not try to do too much, you know, just keep themselves in a good position.
Joel Tompkins to his feet. McIlaurin goes the short side with Gelling. Brushes away from Turner. Good strength from Anthony Gelling. Greenwood was there.
Screaming for the ball out wide. They're in a very deep situation in attack, Wigan.
Here they come.
Watch for the second phase in the kick.
Crossfield kick from Matty Smith, looking for Burgess. Ball is tapped down. Was it by Burgess? No, it wasn't. It's a penalty to Wigan. It was knocked forward by St Helens, so O'Hire is offside.
Quick to spot that. Phil Bentham.
Makinson, he said, touched it.
Just.
That's a harsh call. That's a wrong call, I would say. I would suggest that that's not Tommy Makinson. That's a Wigan knockback by Joe Burgess. That should have been play on. Saints hard done by on that occasion.
Well, Wigan then in possession, 5 metres from the line. This is Williams. He finds Smith. Smith gives it some width and finds Hampshire. Hampshire then to Gelling. Gelling wide again to Manfredi. Only one way Manfredi was going, and that was over the whitewash. And that defence was brilliant from St Helens.
Was it ever the quartet? They're not singing on this occasion, they're tackling. 1, 2, 3, 4, out you go, son. This is the incident. Who's got a touch to it first? Yeah. I think you might find that St Helens were badly done to on that occasion. Either way.
Well, it touched both hands, didn't it? It touched Burgess, and maybe that went backwards. Makinson maybe did touch it.
Either way, they've got possession. That's the most important factor.
Yeah, they got away with it. St Helens, good defence. They just slid across, and there was no way that Manfredi was going in for his second try. Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook for the Saints. You know, they've not won an Easter clash with Wigan since the 1912 win against Brian Noble's Wigan side. Good Friday 2009. They've lost all 5 since at Easter. Roby going nowhere with 3 pounding into the ground. Lance O'Hire, Kyle Amor, big hit by Tony Clubb.
Wigan defence restricting Saints from getting over the advantage line. This is a neat kick though. Good work from Roby, but it's right down the throat.
Great positioning that from Hampshire.
Chase is good.
Was a good chase. A very good chase by Luke Thompson. We can get the ball away to Gelling.
What St Helens are where they have to do, Eddie, is stop the outside backs like Gelling and Manfredi here. There's a penalty going Wigan's way. Because the forwards work so hard to contain Saints, and then they rely on the outside backs, the wingers and the centres, to try and make those early runs to get the side going forward. So when they pick it up and run as Gelling did then, they have to try, and, if at all possible, the Saints, to restrict the ground game by Wigan's flyers out wide.
3 penalties on the run for Wigan. When Phil Bentham's whistle sounded, there were 1 or 2 in blue jerseys whose arms raised aloft and heads and eyes looked to the skies. They're frustrated already, the Saints.
Well, they thought that Anthony Gelling pumped the ball down before he actually regained his feet, which is according to the rules and the law. He should have. They've got away with it. They'll be lucky Saints to keep them out here.
This is Dan Sargentson. Is that high from Dawson?
Boy, ignored by Phil Bentham. Dawson gave him a rattle right across Sargentson.
That's Williams, and here is Bateman. Ooh, that ball, did that hit a St Helens hand on the way forward? No, the referee says it went backwards, so Matty Smith takes it forward and goes down on the 5th tackle. Last one coming up here then for Wigan. And it's with Williams, who slides the kick in, side-footed. Swift is there. Crowd behind the sticks are going crazy. They're the St Helens fans. They're on the back of Phil Bentham.
It was a pretty neat kick, but you've got to give credit to Adam Swift. You can shout all they want. They haven't got the whistle.
Club just picked him out there, Alex Walmsley. This is fast and furious and fierce.
Is it ever? Welcome to the real world. Rugby league at its best. Oh, get in there.
Great play.
Good offload.
Great play by Walmsley. Here come the Saints. Josh Jones gives it to Adam Swift. Support inside from O'Hire and Jones again. Brilliant chasing back by Manfredi.
Played the ball quickly though. They've got on the overlap. All these Wigan players must have been offside.
McCarthy scars, looks past to nobody, and Bateman drops on it gratefully.
Steve-O's right, he had to be offside. There's no way John Bateman got back on line with the referee.
Well, I actually think that by the time the ball got across here, they actually got back to the 10-metre line where Phil Bentham was. So moving the ball wide has got him back on side.
What play by St Helens. They're trapped down near their line. The crowd are into the referee. They can't make any ground. And Eddie, you called it absolutely right. Some brilliant play by Alex Walmsley to release the ball out on the left-hand side, and they broke away. It shows you the danger of this St Helens side. Marvellous piece of play.
But here come Wigan in response with Gelling. Gelling puts boot to ball as a foot race on. Swift is leading the race and gets there before Manfredi.
Well, he took the wrong option, did Gallen. It was a beautiful dummy that made him break. But he opted for the kick on the outside. He had two supporters on the in. Oh boy, this is a classic already.
It is. 11 minutes in, here's the call. This is the match of the year already.
Well, unsurprisingly, with some players desperate for oxygen, the Saints coach Kieran Cunningham's made the first change. He's brought one of his big fellas off and he's put Mossy Massoy on because he knows gaining ground is something that they've not been good at. In fact, they're going to kick early from their own 20, avoid the pressure.
Oh, but it's right up the middle, and Hampshire, again, positioned perfectly, was waiting for that way behind his attackers.
And the most important thing is nearly there at the halfway line. Though you've got to give Jordan Turner credit this occasion. You notice he gave himself plenty of room, wasn't going to risk the charge down on that occasion.
Joe Burgess, he got a try in all three against the Saints last year. He plays the ball to Williams. Woof. Mossy Massoy is on with great physical presence. Dan Sargentson knows all about that already. Bateman will take it forward. Boy, they're getting stuck in both sides.
Oh, the effort, and the official Phil Bentham, I don't know whether he thinks they're punching bags with ears, because that's where everybody's going. He's just saying play on.
Mosson losing the ball in the challenge. Play on, says the referee. Free play for Saints.
Mossy Massoy has come on, Eddie, and in an instant made a huge impact. He's rattled into every tackle he's been involved in. He carries the ball now, and he's dislodged that from Lee Mossop. What an impact substitute.
Oh, there was a high shot then on Luke Thompson. St Helens get their first penalty after 12 3/4 minutes.
And are you surprised who it was? Michael McAlorum. He hit the shoulder first, finished up in the face, and that's probably one of the most lenient of what we've seen already. But the official says, I'm penalising you on that occasion. Oh, I'm out of breath already.
I think they might be as well. They're just taking their time, the players, just waiting for Turner to deposit that ball and to touch off the penalty. No rush from St Helens. Trying to drag the air into the lungs, which must be bursting. Louis McCarthy's Garswood gets the ball away fantastically to O'Hire. He finds Mossy Massoy. The big man goes down on the first tackle. Roby waits. Goes down the left-hand side. Here's Thompson again. Club and Bateman dealing with the threat. Roby once more. This is Turner. Turner gets it away to Louis McCarthy Scarborough, and what a tackle that was from George Williams. Roby attacking the line. Turner turns it back. Amor has it. Grounded though, and tackle completed. Roby to the left-hand side and no higher. Slides the kick in. And Saints will get another set of 6.
Good work by the fullback Hampshire. Aided and abetted by the standoff George Williams. It was a neat kick, but both of them got there in the end. And this is where all the power comes into it. McAlorum, boy oh boy.
So if there's something, you're going to have to repeat and repeat, so I get it.
Don't you just love it?
Well, it's a Good Friday, Steve-O. It's Wigan Saints. And what do you expect?
Looks okay. Time on. Let's go, Matty.
So goal line dropout for the Wigan Warriors.
And not surprisingly, they're taking their time as well to try to just get that oxygen into the lungs.
And the crowd is so loud
here we go.
that the referees and the referee rather than the touch judges having an awful job making themselves heard.
Likewise. But what about that? Mossam Assoy, and already he's making acquaintance with Lee Mossam. That's going to be a battle royal throughout.
Turner finds O'Hire. O'Hire then flat ball. Ooh, he was almost through. Almost through Greenwood and hurt in the process. He's down. Will he get up and try and play the ball? No, the referee will call time off to allow him to have some treatment.
I thought it was Joel Tompkins that came in there. It was... Oh no, maybe it was...
Just have a look at his left foot. Yeah, his left ankle getting caught underneath his body.
Oh,
and pushed back on it.
Yeah, Hampshire, the weight over the top. That wouldn't have helped.
No, it's okay. It's just
Look at this.
I can't hear you call, so...
You'd run the other way if Mossy Massoy was coming near you. They'll want this man to stay out on the field.
Well,
It was an injury day.
He's no chance. That's a very serious lower leg injury.
Yeah, I think the signal's gone out that he can't continue. He's only just back in.
You can see Buckle right underneath him. That's there, and you see what Hampshire's weight right underneath.
May have dislocated the ankle there.
Well, let's hope it's not a broken bone. Or...
What a season, Steve-O. You mentioned him before the game kicked off. Kieran Cunningham has been heaping the praise on Joe Greenwood the season he's had. Even before the season kicked off, he said, listen, I thought he was going to be a good player. I just didn't know he was going to be as good as he's shown me so far. Cunningham played him in the trial games. Thought he was going to have to put him out on loan. No, Greenwood was good enough to cement his position in the team, running out on the left-hand edge. And he's proved a handful. Strong in defence.
Well, he might have some bendy joints, let's just hope so. We all thought he was going to be seriously injured a couple of weeks ago, and he made a remarkable recovery, so it looks the fact he's up on his feet.
Well, he's a tough hombre, that is for sure.
He missed Hull Kingston Rovers last week with the arm injury. And looks like, well, it's going to be difficult for him to return here today, but there's still plenty of time. I'm sure the medics will be working on him and to try and get him back out there if they can. At least he's walking off the field, albeit with support.
Well, it's better than being carted off on the stretcher, but...
So Flanagan comes on to replace him.
Now, we're going to have to be really aware sometimes when a stoppage, lack of concentration, you can pay the price. Will the big fella, Mossam Assoy, try to go over on the first receiver?
Well, he's there, so too is Amor. Amor gets it. They read that script, did Wigan. Kaluma Tai is out there as well. Roby, back he comes to Turner. Here is Louis McCarthy Scarborough.
Has he got it down?
Well, it's going to go upstairs to the video referees, Ian Smith and Peter Brook.
I've got no try.
And they've got no try on the field. They just need to check the grounding. Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook is taking the appreciation of all his team members. Stuart, this is a difficult one.
Well, it is. Phil Benson's in a decent position there, but can he see underneath the body there? Does the ball get to the ground? That's what he's got to look at.
Yeah, it's down.
I
The
think
ball
it's
is
down
down.
there. It
You
is.
just see on the
ground.
Just have a
by,
look at Manfredi or Hampshire's boot, his right boot, and just look beyond that. You see a little white triangle almost shape. That's the ball in there. That's a try.
I agree. This should be TRY time. And the Saints should be well and truly back into this game. As I said, the lack of concentration when a man's injured, you sometimes switch off. Here is the decision.
Try is given. They saw the proof. The picture proved that McCarthy Scarsbrook had got the ball down. And I'm just trying to think back over the previous 7 rounds. Is that the first time we've seen a decision given on the field and overturned? There's not been many.
Oh, we've had five overturns this year.
As many as that.
As
okay.
many as that, yes.
Well, I don't know what day it is. This is Boxing Day, isn't it?
Sit down and catch your breath.
Okay. We've had 5. Okay.
And that's not a lot, Eddie.
No, you're right, Steve-O, it's not.
I'm backing you.
We've had 6 now then, have we?
But that's good.
That's 6 now, yes.
To be fair, that was good work by the second row of McCarthy Scarsbrook.
I think they were given the chance to get here by a brilliant kick into the in-goal area. It forced that goal line dropout. We did have the stoppage then when Joe Greenwood was injured. But you know, we asked before the game, without Travis Burns and Luke Walsh and John Wilkin, whether St Helens kicks, attacking ones, would be accurate and dangerous enough to force pressure from the Wigan side, and it clearly was. And the Saints are the best side in Super League when they get within 10 metres of the opponent's try line of crashing over and scoring. Perfect example of it right there.
Tommy Makinson then to level the scores with this kick. Oh, I think he's pushed it the wrong side, and the flags tell you he has. So Wigan still hold the lead, but it's down to just 2 points, 6-4.
And that's most unusual, especially from that position. Very, very easy. But it was good work. Nice little slip pass from Jordan Turner.
Ready, Clint?
And there is the evidence.
Onside.
So the try given. And here's Kyle Moore. Oh, he's dropped it in the first challenge with Lyle Patrick. And Wigan rushed to Patrick and pat him on the back.
Well, Kyle Moore has a wry smile, but I keep saying it, why on earth do they come and run into the man that's about to tackle him with the ball carrying arm? You run the huge risk of having this dislodged from your grasp.
Well, Lyle Patrick, the Welsh international, just 1 start in the 13-12 home win against Hull with Huddersfield, and he says he's joined the biggest club in Super League, the Wigan Warriors. There'll be plenty who will argue with that, but I know where he's coming from. Tautai gives it to Smith. Smith gets it away to Bateman. 5 metres from the line, 2 tackles gone. Glorious chance for Wigan to build on their lead here. Not the best pass. McIlorum retrieves the situation, but the referee, I think in consultation with the touch judge, has given a knock on, and tempers off, flaring out there. Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook is pushing and shoving with Tompkins. Tompkins is pushing Amor. Touch judge has called knock on. Head and feet Saints.
Yeah, he's got plenty to say, this fella. The Cockney from London.
Well, I'm not sure where the knock-on is. I think Phil Bentham was wanting to give offside. He blew his whistle and suddenly realised he didn't have a restart because McIlorum's come from behind him. He's played the ball behind him, so he was onside. So there was no knock-on and there was no offside, and yet turnovers happened.
Well, St Helens won't be arguing with this.
No, they won't, and what a change on with Stuart Cummins on this one.
Move back. Hold, fellas, hold.
What a let-off.
Go, 1.
Yes, after Lyle Patrick's big hit on Kyle Moore, they've got away with it, the Saints.
Go, 2.
There's intent, isn't there, Eddie? There's intent in these tackles, especially in and around the forwards. I'm sure Wigan have spoken about it, looked at that St Helens pack and said, we've got to meet fire with fire. Here we go.
Oh, swinging arm from McIlorum. He gave him the shoulder to start with, then he swung it out. The big fella stands up with a big grin on his face and said, come on, give me more.
5. Move, William.
Boy, I don't know how much it costs to have a facial these days, Eddie, but they're getting one for free out there.
Another kick that's straight into the arms of Hampshire.
Yeah, that's the second poor kick as well. Kieran Cunningham, the Saints coach, he'll get the message out. Look, it's slippery out there, keep it low. Try to just push it into that corner.
Big record that Wigan are defending here today. They've not lost in front of their own fans for 9 months. Unbeaten at home in 2015, of course. The last defeat was against, guess who? St Helens. They won here 16-12 back end of last season. Penalty goes the Wigan Warriors' way. Touch judges on his way in from the far side.
Yeah, but Mossima saw it was silly. He took the man out without possession. Tells Tompkins to just take a walk, son.
It's a collision off the ball. You've got to take more care. Position when not got the ball.
I think, to be fair to him, he tried to pull out at the last minute, but it takes a bit of stopping at that size, I think.
Yeah, once the big unit gets moving, you got to have good brakes to stop.
Well, he's like a cruise ship, isn't he? You don't stop them. You don't stop them in a couple of seconds, and he just pats Phil Bentham on the arm and says, yeah, okay.
He's such a massive man, and you know, I went to a party just before Christmas down in Australia, and he was a guest there. He is huge.
Steve-O name dropping about his guests at his Christmas parties. As Wigan attack this line again.
Oh, St Helens not happy. Dan Sargent seemed to raise his knee as he was trying to rid a tackler from him, and St Helens crowd spotted it if the referee didn't.
McIlorum waits. Is he offside? Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook? No, he's not. Well, Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook was in this ground when it was empty on Wednesday for boots and all. He said then he couldn't wait for it. And he's living the dream today. He's living this match to the full. Wonderful hands from Wigan. Here is Gelling down the right-hand side. Wonderful defence again from St Helens. This match is out of the top draw of the First Utility Super League.
Yeah, this is a very fine wardrobe indeed. The drawers are open and shutting all the time. What about the offload there from Liam Farrell? And then, remember, before this, it took the quartet. On this occasion, the trio was sufficient.
Paul Wellens' 59th appearance against Wigan. The man in the stands, his new coach for 2015, Kieran Cunningham, he's played 60. The only man who's played more for Saints.
Terry O'Connor told me last night he had played between 64 and 69 games against Saints. That's true, he said that last night.
Now listen, Steve-O's got Mossy Massoy on his guest list. He's name dropping Mossy. You're dropping O'Connor?
Some name to
You're
drop.
kidding me, aren't you?
Oh, great defense.
Look at this.
Look at the pace on the hooker, Michael McIlorum.
Goal 2.
Oh.
3.
Thompson bumps off a couple, spins, and then there's 3 more. Flanagan will take it forward for St Helens. Well, 23 minutes on the clock. It has flown by. Here's Big Mossy again. Boom! Down he goes.
I don't know which player in a blue jersey is going to get this ball to kick it, but he's going to come under some pressure unless he gets away very fast indeed. In fact, you saw there Turner, both Gelling and Bateman up in his face so quickly.
Turner's turning back in to make the kick, Eddie. John Wells might pick up on it at half-time. But passing to the left to Turner, and because he's a right-foot kicker, he's having to turn back to his right-hand side, which is chewing up valuable seconds and giving Wigan an opportunity to put pressure on him. They're going to have to engineer a way to get the ball to Turner in a more efficient way so he can get his kick away cleaner.
3. Move, James.
Well, when the big fella, Mossima Massoy, came to St Helens, a lot of people said that his work rate wasn't up to it. I've just seen him do an ankle tackle a couple of balls after. Boy, they're all up for it. That's a good kick.
It's a great kick from Matty Smith. That's not going to run dead. That's not going to run dead. Work to do here for Tommy Makinson, and he does it. Oh, does he ever? Good tackle, Burgess.
That to be as well. Slip the net, and he's got to put offside.
Burgess not standing square, I think.
That's a massive relief for St Helens because so many of their players were absolutely desperate not to have to get back into their own 20-metre zone and carry the ball forward. It's a lifeline for them.
Well, I think you'll find that it wasn't the winger, it was George Williams that wasn't stood square behind. Either way, it's a relief for Saints.
Well, he doesn't really have much effect on the play, and the current interpretation that as long as he gets in square where he should have been, he can go and make that tackle.
Back up. Goal 1.
Eddie, there might be significant rule changes. We'll discuss, I'm sure, at Boots and all later stage, where they're going to reduce the interchange down to 6. Alex Walmsley's come back on the field for his second spell, 24 minutes gone on the clock. What people want to do is put it down to 6 interchanges, make people have to go out there and push themselves, tire them out, so you don't have big guys like Alex Walmsley coming on the ball now, fresh every time in the game. You need to tire out some of these big fellas and allow the creative players to have more of a say in the game. That's something that's going to come in down the line.
I know you're a big, your big concern is player welfare as much as anything, Brian. Is that safe that we reduce it down to 6?
Absolutely is. It absolutely is. All you're going to do is ask the players to stay out there a little longer, and you won't have those big collisions. You won't have third man going into a tackle because people will conserve their energy. You'll actually get rid of that cannonball tackle, get rid of the extra wrestle by reducing the amount of interchanges down to 6, not 8, 6.
We're all going to adopt that, are we? That's going to be in Australia and Super League and internationals. And
David Collier has his way.
Okay, we'll see. As Brian says, that's maybe for discussion elsewhere.
A push by St Helens there. That's unusual. Well, as far as I've been involved in the game, I don't think we've had exact rules internationally throughout. There's always a difference. We'll wait and see.
26 minutes on the watch, still 6-4.
But in games like this, and the atmosphere and the way they're getting into each other, who wants to be substituted? You want to be out there giving it your best.
Talima Tautai, that's a short pass away. And Lon Patrick hangs on. And play the ball here to Logan Tompkins. Now it is with Smith. He gets it away to Rocky Hampshire. Down he goes under pressure from Walmsley and Turner. Logan Tompkins again, back it comes to Smith, under pressure Smith, got the kick away though.
It's a poor one though.
Nakinson. Let's go down to ground level, Rod Studd.
Well, Eddie, you talked about the grand final and the playoff intensity and feel to this game. It's playoff weather down here now on the sideline. It is absolutely hosing down here at the DW Stadium. Conditions have worsened since kick-off, and this is going to be a real grind, a real arm wrestle. Tries, I think, will be at a premium in the next hour or so.
Well, it was raining pretty heavily at Castleford, and it's arrived here. Actually, it's not been too clever all day, to be fair. And it's a bit chilly as well, and I said right at the top of the show, the weather not too crash hot this Good Friday, but we will warm you up, and I think the promise has already been kept. Lance Ohio into open space in between two Wigan defenders. Lovely kick again underneath the sticks. Work to do.
That was great work by Lance Ohio. You can see
a good run from Manfredi, and he gets the penalty.
Silly. Just completely lost the plot. After a very good kick, there was backspin on the ball from Lance Ohio, and now they're giving away 30-35 metres. And you look at both sets, every time there's a kick and chase, they are going 100%. They just can't keep this pace up, surely.
It's around about midnight in Australia, and they join us on Fox Sports each and every week for the best of the First Utility Super League. Good evening to all of you down under. Hope you're enjoying this. This is Super League in the Raw. This thrills and spills galore, and here is Williams. Patrick gets the pass away to Matty Smith. Oh, Matty Smith gave himself up then. He looked at the referee. The referee said play on. This is Tautai, who has dropped it.
Knock on.
Great hit by Richards.
And they'll celebrate, Eddie, Will Saints. Got right underneath the ball carrying arm. Not so sure whether there's fingertips in there, but it didn't matter. Saints have head and feet.
Greg, on right tackle, you got to listen for me call if you can hear it.
Don't you love your Good Fridays?
Well, I do when I'm up here, especially not out on the field of play. Boy, it's been rough and tough.
On right tackles, lads, listen for the call.
The pace is tremendous.
Easter Monday, Warrington Castleford, 2:40 Sky Sports 1. Two sides there with something to prove, both beaten over Easter, and here two sides who've both won over Easter. Cattle and Dragons and Widnes, Monday tea time, 5 minutes to 5 on 2.
And in such conditions, Eddie, you've got to understand that the team that shares the workload, shares it about just get 4 or 5 players doing overtime, they will finish up winning the game. It's a matter of that energy in the final 15.
Turner with a nice little dink to the corner. Well picked up by Hampshire. Great chase.
Eddie, I don't know what goes on when St Helens train. It seems to me, from what I've seen this year, that Sean Long's had a massive impact if he is responsible for the kicking of their players. Because the games we've seen, tactically, they've kicked the ball incredibly well there, haven't they, to trap that ball. And it's a massive improvement from last season. Not just with John Wilkin in the games we've seen him play, but obviously here today with Lance Ohio and Jordan Turner. Great improvement in the short kicking game.
Joel Tompkins going nowhere. That's tackle number 4, affected by Josh Jones. There's tackle number 5 by Richards and Flanagan. Good restriction by the Saints. The last thing they want to do is give it away with a penalty. They haven't. So Smith will pump it over the top.
That's a great
He
kick.
finds touch. It is a great kick. Adam Smith not interested in that.
Yeah, it's taken a while, hasn't he, to get into the swing of things. He was excellent last season, Matty Smith, and perhaps not getting the service from his forward, setting the platform, but that'll settle the nerves down. Once he starts taking control, Wigan play at the top.
In his defence, Steve, I'm not sure I'd be too critical of his performances this season. No Sean O'Loughlin out there who does a lot of ball playing and takes some responsibility, and he's got a young standoff in George Williams who's playing beside him. So everything will come on the shoulders of Matty Smith, and especially when things are going wrong, it will come down on the shoulders of Matty Smith. You don't have a really ball-playing hooker in Mickey McIlaurin, brilliant in so many other areas of the game, but you wouldn't be a renowned ball player. So Matty Smith has all of that to do, and I think considering all of that, he's had a pretty good season so far. He was very good against Wakefield last week. He's taken that into this game.
Here comes Richards again. Only 19 years of age. Greg Richards plays the ball.
He's a big unit, isn't he, Richards?
Andre Savelio is out there. He's just played the ball. Lance Ohio again towards the corner.
Nice kick.
Whoa, that was his foot in touch. It was. He's a bit unlucky there. The conditions beat him. Ryan Hampshire. I thought he was going to let it go originally. He just let it go over, but it must be the front foot. It must be the right foot that hit the whitewash.
It did. It just took a little bit of a grass sod.
Well, that's as good as a 40-20.
Yeah, it is. Well, perhaps they got the message out. Kieran Cunningham early in the piece. Saints kicking was right down the throat, and this is what can happen. Slippery conditions, and there it is.
Just a bounce with the right foot. Good decision by the touch judge.
Sometimes wearing orange boots can go against you. It amazes me why they don't wear dark green ones or so.
With the white stripe on. So here come the Saints then. Can they capitalise on that slip by Ryan Hampshire?
We haven't seen a run from James Roby yet.
Walmsley hounded to the ground by Logan Tompkins. Matty Smith. Roby having a little dash this time. Here is Turner. Back it comes. Brilliant defence from Liam Farrell.
Oh, picked out of Duncan. Listen to this crowd. You'd think he just won the lotto. Oh, he picked him out. Bang. Double whammy.
That's great. That is great defence from Farrell.
And there's nothing you can do about it. You can see that the ball was just dropping in the front of Lance Ohio, and he knew he was going to get clobbered.
Do you remember the try he scored in the Good Friday match in 2011 that won the game 28-24 here? He's always, well, everyone's up for these, but Liam Farrell always up for this clash.
The one thing, I suppose, that Kieran Cunningham, the Saints coach, he'll be thinking to himself, well, you know, if you're going to come up with an error, it's not a bad place to come up just 10 metres away from the opposition goal line.
No, but they just got that wonderful advantage from the slip by Hampshire, and the chance goes begging. But they've got a long way to get up the other end of the field of Wigan now, and that's 4 tackles gone. They're still stranded inside their own half. There's a run from Smith. He finds Logan Tompkins. Josh Jones, Jordan Turner brings him down.
Go.
Last one here then for Wigan.
Outside.
Crossfield kick, fly hack forward. Makinson traps it. Will bring it forward. But a good chase again by Wigan.
One. Move now.
It's energetic, isn't it?
Hold. Go one.
Certainly is, but any youngster watching there, you know, it's slippery conditions. Makinson did the right thing, didn't attempt with his hands, blocked it with his foot.
Savelio, what a baptism this is for the 20-year-old, back after missing the last two. He was a substitute in the World Club Series. Jordan Turner injured in that World Club match. Roby, quick play the ball and a good run.
And that's where it's so important for this Saints outfit. They make a half break, quick play the ball. A lot of the Wigan players are struggling to get back into a defensive situation.
Flanagan with the kick, it was a desperate kick. They just lost their way for a moment then. We're watching the champions up against the team they beat in the grand final last year. St Helens have come to Wigan. They brought the trophy with them. They walked past it, both sides, as they came out. It was just a little reminder to Wigan what they missed out on at Old Trafford last October. Will they both be back there this October?
Well, if they play like this, you feel pretty confident.
Leeds will have a big say in the way this season unfolds. You feel those well. Huddersfield coming good.
They've got to be careful now, Saints. Don't give away a silly penalty. Paddle was trying his damnedest to convince the official.
George Williams was under pressure.
McCarthy Scarsbrook, what an effort from him. Williams couldn't get a real good kick away, but they got the numbers there, which has been the same right the way through this first half.
If this defence keeps up, you're either going to have to be very lucky, and they were a little at the start, or you're going to have to construct a try very, very well, Eddie, because the defences are on top in this game. Only 2 scores so far in the first half. If that pattern continues, the ball players are going to have to be at the very best to break him down.
Woof. Roby's pass to Flanagan. Logan Tompkins read the script. Here it goes again. Roby starting to impose himself on this match. Great run.
Now then, will they kick to the in-goal area? Will they keep it low, or will they go high into the corner?
It's a little grubber kick by Turner, and trapped in goal, is he? Referee has a very close look. No, he isn't. He isn't trapped in goal.
Boy, that
was good work from Hampshire.
Was it ever?
Penalty. Got away with it once in the first half. Tried to tackle from marker. Didn't get away with it this time.
And that just shows you sometimes inexperience. You just lose the plot. He moved away, and then they just went. He wasn't standing square, Jordan Turner. You look as though you've got them on toast, and all of a sudden you give away 30, 40 metres downfield.
Well, we are here today on Good Friday. We are back here in a couple of weeks. Wigan against Warrington, Thursday the 16th of April, Sky Sports 3 at 7:30. And possibly, and Sean Wayne says he will play him if he's 100% fit, and he believes he is, possibly the return to Wigan for Ben Flower. The man, of course, if you weren't with us for the grand final, and if you weren't, where on earth were you that night? But the man who was sent off after just 2 minutes of the grand final and gained infamy around the world.
Yeah, and a bit of a sore head for Lance O'Hire. Now then, is this going to be a good kick?
It's high from the boot of Matty Smith. And Adam Swift just leapt and plucked that out of the air.
Yeah, I agree with Brian. It's going to take something special to make sure the scoreboard ticks over.
Josh Jones trying to provide that. Well, it only seems like 5 minutes ago that Phil Bentham blew the whistle for the start of this match, but we've had 39 pulsating minutes, and we're into the last minute of this first half.
And what a good run again from the prop forward, Alex Walmsley.
Oh, he's lost it. He's lost it as Greg Richards. Here's Wigan's chance right before half-time.
And they've formed the scrum quickly. Now Bentham will stop the clock. He's claiming, is Richards, that it was reefed down. I don't think so. It was a big hit from Lon Patrick.
You know, he's learnt a lot in the short time he's played in the Super League level. One of the hardest things you have to learn is when bodies hit you, you've got to somehow hold on and control possession. He couldn't do that. And him and his teammates here now are looking on a little anxiously. Alex Walmsley sucks in some oxygen before he forms this scrum. They try to rest as much as possible here, buy some time before they have to pack down and defend, what, 40 very, very important seconds.
Anthony Gelling then for Wigan from that scrum feed. Good run from him too, ploughing up the ground. Ploughing down the middle in the mud. Here's Matty Smith. Back it comes. Good hands. Great hands. Burgess bumps off a couple. Getting ever closer to the St Helens line. 20 seconds and counting to half-time. Logan Tompkins, they'll surely bring it back into the middle, which they do, and Williams then to Smith. Smith then gives it to Hampshire. Hampshire's quick, trying to fox Jordan Turner with the footwork. Jones brings him down. One more play maybe, if he's quick.
Got to get the kick away. Got to get the kick away.
He knew that. Oh, it's ricocheted. Still on. Fly hacked across field. Here is Burgess. He's missed it, Burgess. Saints have got him into touch. Wow, what a first half this has been. Hair and skirt and pulsating stuff. Electric. Super League at its best. Players playing flat to the floor. Absolutely wonderful entertainment for this packed house at the DW Stadium on Good Friday, and hopefully for all of you watching at home. Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook has played arguably the game of his season in the first half. Wigan led after 2 minutes. Saints fought back. It's all to be sorted out in the second half. 6-4 Wigan at the break.
Ladbrokes, proud sponsor of the Super League on Sky Sports.
Family popping over for Easter Sunday? Treat everyone with a whole leg of lamb or a gammon joint at half price. Make more of Easter with Sainsbury's.
This is not going to be easy, lads. You've got to fight. Put your neck on the line. There'll be big decisions to make. You must be first to score. The right decisions will make all the difference. Here's a great offer from Betfred. Betfred, passionate about rugby league. Keep it fun. Gamble responsibly.
1, 2, 3, 4. Made with love to a Belgian recipe. C'est cidre, not cider.
He knows. But do you know that Head & Shoulders is the UK's #1 shampoo? It offers unbeatable dandruff protection. It's also validated by the British Skin Foundation. For great-looking hair that's up to 100% flake-free, why choose anything but the UK's #1 shampoo? Don't wait to discover the new Instant range from Head & Shoulders.
Martin's put the wrong fuel in his car. That's a big deal. If he misses a date with Jenny, she might think he doesn't care. And she might write a song about his piggy eyes. Don't worry, Martin. Green Flag will cover you even if you fill up with the wrong fuel. Green Flag, no matter what.
We all need a little help from the people around us. With an HSBC Advanced Bank account, you could get preferential benefits on our mortgages. Because together, we advance.
Nivea Men Stress Protect Deodorant.
proven protection even in stressful situations.
Lads, we'll eat.
Works against stress sweating. Works against body odor. Nivea Man Stress Protect Deodorant. Nivea Man, it starts with you.
I lost everything. It's not what you did, son. It's who you did it to.
That nobody?
That nobody is John Wick.
I'm not afraid of John Wick.
You should be.
Hey, John.
You look terrible.
Rusty, I guess.
I'm driving! Oh, yes! Give me the car key.
Join different families each week as they take on the roads
I can't do this.
and each other in the ultimate test of skill and survival. Driving School of Mum and Dad. Monday at 8:30 on Sky One HD. Catch up now on demand.
Now is the time to stand up and be counted.
The stakes are high at both ends of the table. Who will crack under pressure? A great weekend of football on Sky Sports.
Ladbrokes, proud sponsor of the Super League on Sky Sports.
Well, one of the biggest tournaments of the season starts on Thursday. It is the Masters. It's day one. We've got all 4 days live for you on Sky Sports 4. And also, the build-up begins this Easter Monday. We'll be on the range at 5 on Sky Sports 4. The Masters countdown at 7:30, Sky Sports News HQ. And roaring back, McIlroy's 2014 is available now on demand. But Wigan against St Helens takes centre stage on Good Friday, and what a first half these two sides have produced for us. Manfredi and Smith and McCarthy Scarsbrook with the try for St Helens. Local man, Sean Wayne, Wigan born and bred, and he knows how important this is to the majority of the 23,000 inside this ground today. It's important to him, it's important to his players. He's desperate for them to beat the Saints and gain a little bit of revenge over the Saints for their win on Good Friday. Kieran Cunningham, Sean Long inside that dressing room. And well, what a first half from these two sides, as I say. And Kieran Cunningham, of course, St Helens born and St Helens bred, and Alex Walmsley receiving treatment there before the half-time talk. We'll have a half-time talk with these two, Brian and John.
Yes, thanks very much, Eddie. Very calm St Helens dressing room, despite the fact that they're behind on the scoreboard. I would imagine Kieran Cunningham, their coach, would be very happy with that, considering the talent he had sitting in tracksuits in that dressing room. Don Manfredi's influence in the first 53 seconds of the game, in attack and defence, John. Brilliant start for the young man.
Really like Don Manfredi as a player. Attitude, it's a word we'll come back to in the end of this analysis. To say it's the enthusiasm of youth that underpins these contributions, I think undersells the smart nature of the contributions themselves. Turner, we talked about this going back onto the right foot. You talked about it in commentary. We'll come back to that at the end of all these clips.
You had a bit to do here, John.
Yeah, I think a great finish. First of all, being there and just the willingness to chase anything, to chase a lost cause, I think is great. Some fantastic defensive displays in the middle between both sides. But then have a look at this track back and got himself involved in the tackle with Greenwood and has caught up some ground. Look at Burgess at the bottom of the, by the way, screaming back. I think it's an excellent contribution for him early on and a dream start for Wigan.
OK, you've highlighted an individual in defence there, but credit to both sides. Defences have been the attractive part of the game today. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of attacking play, but the defences are on top.
This was early on in the game. Wigan certainly got the better of the opening 10-15 minutes exchanges. St Helens forced onto the back foot, but I thought they were really composed here in defence. Adam Swift in particular, I'll just take that back a little bit because it's really important that this is the difference between a winger thinking I'm gone, I'm shot and shooting in, and a winger knowing that he's got 20 metres to play with and he can backtrack into that space and buy himself some time and the guys on the inside to cover across.
And we see both verbal and physical communication from Swift as he's retreating.
I think he's developing into a very, very good player with a very good understanding of what he needs to do there. Look, just that backing off, not committing to anybody, buying time, makes contact. I think that's an outstanding piece of defensive display. Then came the Lou McCarthy-Scarsbrook try, and Saints found their feet. But have a look at this for a read. Here's Lance O'Hire, the man who's about to get banjoed by Liam Farrell. And Liam Farrell's picked him very early on. He's going to fly out of his line and he's going to take him on. Superb read, superb piece of defence. And I think this is down to the fact that they are struggling for creativity, something we're going to feature in this last clip.
OK, when St Helens were missing their ball players last year, I remember you said a lot of their creativity was now being developed off James Roby. We haven't seen enough of it in this first half, but a warning to Wigan, it's there. It's in the armoury.
This is the man we're talking about. Have a look at what he's able to do. Yes, you're right, we haven't seen much of it. It's only in the latter stages of that first half that St Helens have been able to develop any kind of role on. And you were saying, where was the creativity going to come from with O'Hire and Turner in the halves? Well, the short answer was from O'Hire and Turner in the halves. The long answer is people like that need to step up. Just at one point you were making on Turner with his kicking game, very, very heavily dominant on his right foot, not a usual kicker. Simple answer to that is you switch him to the right-hand side of the ruck, or you give Lance O'Hire more kicking duties.
Yeah, he's making it difficult for himself, turning back into the markers, although nothing in this game. 6 points to 4 in favour of the Wigan Warriors. St Helens looking very good. If they get a chance, they will challenge this Wigan Warriors side, Eddie.
They will, and we can see Sean Wayne inside their dressing room. We got a shot of Kieran Cunningham just before that inside his dressing room. Sean Wayne pointing something out to Lee Mossop. And of course Kieran Cunningham, St Helens' 8th coach in the Super League. He knows that 5 of his predecessors have led Saints to the title, which they hold. They are the champions. They're here at Wigan. And this repeat of the grand final is living up to all of its pre-match billing and more.
Ladbrokes, proud sponsor of the Super League on Sky Sports.
Matt Wallace tweeted, "The game's not on telly tonight, Paddy. Gutted." Well, we hear you, Matt, but not to worry. Paddy Power's app has got you covered. Just open up our shiny new Pitch View and follow all the action as it happens. Then have a look at the stats. That was Stoke's 81st throw-in. Ha! And if your team's under the cost deep into squeaky bum time, you can always cash out early. Don't spend it all at once, Matty. Oh, he already has. That's scandalous. Download the Paddy Power app now. We hear you.
Make the most of your bank holiday with Carling.
We all need a little help from the people around us. With an HSBC Advanced Bank account, you could get preferential benefits on our mortgages. Because together, we advance.
More and more of the UK's leading agents are advertising their new properties exclusively at onthemarket.com first. So don't miss out. Set up a property alert today.
At Argos, get set for the Hoover cordless vacuum. Save £100 plus a free handheld, only $129.99. Get set for the Shark 2-in-1 steam mop. Save £60, only $69.99, plus a free £10 voucher when you spend £100. Go Argos.
The promise of the cloud is that every organization has unlimited access to information, no matter where they are.
The Microsoft Cloud gives our team the power to instantly deliver critical information to people whenever they need it. Here at AccuWeather, we get up to 10 billion data requests every day. The cloud allows us to scale up so we can handle that volume. We can help keep people safe. To us, that feels really good.
Lannister, Baratheon, Stark, they're all just spokes on a wheel. This one's on top, but then that one's on top, and on it spins. I'm not going to stop the wheel. I'm going to break the wheel.
Brand new Game of Thrones starts Monday the 13th of April at 9 on Sky Atlantic.
Ladbrokes, proud sponsor of the Super League on Sky Sports.
They love their rugby league here, they love their Catalan Dragons. Only a victory will do for the French supporters.
Escaré will chase. The man we picked out as the threat has delivered. I can't believe that.
It could be a try. Fredino is on his feet. But all pointing at us. We might not get off this gantry alive. Well, we shall see how the Catalan Dragons get on Easter Monday. It's the final match of our Easter programmes, and it's the Dragons against the Vikings, 4:55 on Sky Sports 2. Before that, 2:40 Sky Sports 1, Warrington against Castleford. Two sides will be out for the win, having been beaten in their opening matches of the Easter programme. Well, here at Wigan are ahead 6-4 at half-time, and just waiting for the match to start. Now, noticed that Paul Wellens came out of the dressing room and was limping really, really badly, and he's just been spoken to by the physio. And it looks like there's a problem there for the St Helens fullback. He's not right, there's no doubt about that.
And that could be a huge gamble, because there's little doubt that Wigan will have noticed, and you can see he's hobbling. So any kick deep, they know he could be in trouble. This is a big gamble for Kieran Cunningham.
I'm sure the message is getting up that Paul Wellens has a problem. There it is, Jamal Olise passing the message up to the coach, Kieran Cunningham. So I wonder how long Wellens will last in this second half, or will he simply run the injury off? That's a bit high by Richards.
Well, he was stooping low, but that's still no excuse. Logan Tompkins would have felt that. They're all passing handbags around to each other at the moment, but little doubt that Tompkins got it fair and square from this fellow Richards. Not what St Helens needed.
The referee, you see, it's a clearly high tackle, but he's going to have a word with Joel Tompkins, because I don't know whether it was necessary for his big brother to run from the other side of the field here. Get involved when the
that's brotherly love,
finished.
Phil, isn't it? That's taking care of the younger brother. Greg Richards. And Wellens is still hobbling round behind this play. How long will he stay out there before Kieran Cunningham has to take him off?
He's going to get the ball by a kick in the next minute, you would imagine, at the very least.
Well, surely Wigan have noticed. All they've got to do is keep it low onto the ground, turn the fullback around and see what Wellens can do.
I wonder if he turned an ankle as he came out from the dressing rooms, because it looked like there was a problem as soon as he arrived on the field. Anyway, let's have a look and see what Wigan can do here, because they've got 3 tackles remaining. And here they come now with Matty Smith. Smith then gives it back to Williams. Here is Liam Farrell. They haven't got through to Wellens yet. Logan Tompkins and Matty Smith. Joel Tompkins. Short ball. Good hit by Turner on Anthony Gelling. Smith slides the kick in. Wellens drops on it gratefully.
Yeah, we're very fortunate for Wellens, realising that if that had been at least a couple of metres to either side, I don't think he would have got there.
Look at this defence now from Wigan. Wellens is leaving the scene.
Yeah, it was a huge gamble to keep him out there. They got away with it.
It'll be a rejig for the Saints, there's no doubt about that.
Well, Turner will drop the full-back surely.
Or Lancer higher, but then you take away a bit from the engine room, I suppose.
Yeah, well, that puts more weight on Roby to control the dummy half position. There's Lancer higher.
He wasn't happy with something there. Back it comes to Turner. Just as they did in the
That's a great
first
kick.
half. But this time he gets the kick away. Manfredi, who capitalised on his slack kick in the opening minute of the second half.
It looks like you got Tommy Makinson at fullback. Now that would be a position he's played plenty of times.
And he has been operating there throughout the course of the first half as well, alongside Wellens.
The from fullback, he scored that try in the grand final. Filled from a Paul Wellens kick.
An excellent play for him. He was outstanding, wasn't he, at the fullback position in the remainder of the grand final, and he's got a massive challenge here now to do the same in this match.
Patrick. Savelio was in very quickly. Paul Wellens with an obvious problem as Sargentson tries to take on his pal Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. Stays in the field of play, just plays the ball to Burgess. Burgess then flings the ball inside to Williams. Williams slides the kick down the middle, and Swift is there, and here comes the makeshift fullback Tommy Makinson.
Well, again, solid defence, good man-on-man marking as well by Wigan. Early in that first half, they were utilising the sliding defence, but they're adopting very much a man-on-man.
Walmsley goes down, tackle number 3. Wigan chasing their 10th consecutive home win in Super League and playoff football. They've won each of the last 5 Good Friday encounters, home and away as well. Flanagan almost away from Matty Smith.
Will a kick to the corner, that's what's needed. Turner's got it. No, it's going out to a higher.
And his kick bounces into the arms of the winger Burgess. Go Burgess, second season, of course, in the big time. On the end of this season, he's off to the Roosters in Sydney. Sargentson. Good hit by Dawson. Williams nowhere to go. Good hard work from marker by Luke Thompson. Here comes Bateman.
Well, Makinson's deep in the fullback position. Maybe the chance of a little chip over the top or to dribble through.
Tompkins. Ohio gets to him with Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. That's the tackle completed. He'll play the ball to Liam Farrell, and then high off the boot of Williams. He's a tester for Adam Swift. Took it cleanly in a great chase by Anthony Gelling. Well, what on earth has happened to Paul Wellens, Rod Studd?
Well, shed light on it, Eddie. It's basically a groin problem that he felt at the back end of the first half. They decided to give it a go, but as you saw there, it lasted only a couple of minutes before it was too much for the former international fullback to take, and they've had to withdraw him from the action. Just an update on Joe Greenwood too. That ankle injury isn't as bad as it could have been. It's just rolled that ankle, but it'll be him done for the afternoon as well. So problems for St Helens.
That was in the dressing room at half-time, apparently. Paul Wellens must have been trying to keep him warm to protect that groin strain.
Well, with all the players they're missing, Eddie, you could understand them taking the chance. Get out at the start of the game. Hopefully he won't get exposed. See how it is when you start running. He won't be able to take any further part in this game, it looks like now. Where St Helens need to get themselves straightened out is kicking the ball on the last tackle. The last 2 kicks have been easily collected by the Wigan Warriors, and they're now attacking St Helens' position. St Helens have to engineer a better kick. Either kick earlier in the tackle count, but certainly kick longer and get it over the head of Hampshire fullback. Because too easy for him at the moment.
Logan Tompkins to Williams. There's Smith looking for the runners. The runner arrives. It's Sargentson. Sargentson gets the ball away. Manfredi almost stripped the net. A metre short of the line. They'll bring it back surely. No, Gelling goes for broke. And the St Helens defence muscles up. Last tackle coming up here.
Another dab into the in-goal area has got to be surely.
Matty Smith. There is the dam, not the best. Oh! Makinson gets away with it.
It fumbled it and got it before it hit terra firma. Boy, that could be the game. That could be the game changer. If it had fumbled that, they could have been in all sorts of trouble. What control!
Steve, we've got another 20 game changers left in this game yet. There's going to be everything. And the second half started in a similar fashion to the first. Wigan territorially dominating the match, having most of the play at that end of the field. It was great work by Dan Sargentson, the left centre, the guy on the far side, to come around here and double up so they had more attackers than defenders and create that chance for Wigan. But again, St Helens' recovery, as we saw before the match with that tackle that Kieran Cunningham did to help them win a derby match back over a decade ago, it takes a special effort in defence to win on Good Friday.
The kick all the way down the middle of the park by Ohio finds its way to Hampshire. He then finds Burgess.
Well, they're getting slow, they're getting to the dummy half position. You find George Williams finally got there. But Joe Burgess, he knew he had to take his time to play the ball.
Eddie, Phil referenced Dan Sargentson's efforts on the right-hand side. He did expose Jordan Turner, who shot in out of the defensive line. Wigan Warriors will have noted that, and I wonder, will they come down that edge again and see if they can force Turner to pop out of the line and leave a gap?
Farrell struggles to get to his feet. Logan Tompkins. Here goes Blant Patrick, who's lost the ball. Loose carry. Free play for St Helens. Walmsley.
What a game this guy's having.
Great offload. Ohio brings it back in centre field, straight into trouble. That's now the 0 tackle, so 6 to go from here for St Helens. Richards will take it forward again.
Boy, you just see Alex Walmsley just trying to get back into the swing of things. He's had a bit of treatment in back play. He's run his blood to water.
Flanagan, they all have. It's been helter-skelter from the very first minute. Real test of stamina and fitness this, and mental agility too. And here is Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook.
Loves running out wide in the centre position. Have an impact on this game.
Roby to Ohio. Here is Turner. Savelio. Good his way then, but he lost his footing. Flanagan once again. Here's Turner. Turner to Josh Jones. Hangs on, Josh Jones, and hangs on just inside the whitewash. He put the elbows down and wouldn't be moved.
Wasn't that great work from Swift? Oh, it's a poor kick.
Was a poor quick, and Rocky Hampshire is quick, by the way. And that's why Flanagan was all over him.
Boy, there are tired players all over the place. That first half has really taken it out of them.
Manfredi. Roby gets him down the second attempt and then tempted the referee to blow for a penalty, but to be fair, there hasn't been a rash of penalties in this match. Phil Bentham's let a lot go.
Yeah, I think he's controlled it well. You know, in the opening 15 minutes of the first half, I really could have blown up for about maybe 8 or 9 high shots, but he said get on with it, and boy, the crowd are appreciating it, and that's another high shot got away with.
Last tackle here for Wigan. Midway inside their own half. Matty Smith hoofs the ball downfield. Makinson is underneath it.
Oh, that was a good defensive set from St Helens, Eddie. The end of their last attacking set wasn't great. Turner went 3-on-3 down the short side, ended up kicking poorly on the last tackle, but they trapped Wigan in their half and forced them to kick from inside their territory. St Helens have got the ball back now. I'll say it again, they need to improve the end of their sets. They are missing so many of their creative players, and they might have to bludgeon their way to victory in this game, led by figures like Mossy Massoy.
Yes, talking of bludgeoning, he's bludgeoned his way almost to halfway as Mossy. That was Jordan Turner. Richards, it was borderline, that pass.
Certainly was, got away with it.
Here's Roby again, and that's touched by Wigan. 6 to go for St Helens.
Boy, that's a huge boost. No doubt about it. It was Logan Tompkins got the fingertips to it. The man that's just about to play the ball, he's got to be the key figure, especially with his run from dummy half. But Matt Ohio's going on his own.
Had a big game, Ohio. A big game today. Roby. Here's Turner. He's lost his way. Jordan Turner.
Well, you try to say that because of the wet weather and it is difficult conditions out there, but it's the impact. You know, these are forced errors. Tense moments for the fans. How must it feel for the coaches?
He's a very big man, Eddie, Jordan Turner. You stand beside him, he's a sizable man. I think he needs to tuck the ball a little more in this game and run it. If it passes on, if it's very obvious, make the pass. But in these conditions, you're playing in a position you haven't played a lot in. Run the ball an awful lot more. He's got the number 3 jersey on there. He will be a handful running the ball.
Manfredi. Oh, and he gets away from Big Mossy. Oh, and he comes back for more. And Mossy lands on top of him. Well, this is it's unrelenting.
It's cruel, that's what it is. And the clean break will probably change the game, but they're going to be rare as hen's teeth.
McAlorum into centre field, he finds Bateman. Bateman gets the ball away. Williams keeps the movement going, and Hampshire is dumped to the ground by Roby.
Do you know the composure in defence from both outfits? It's been tremendous today.
Williams did well then to get away from O'Hare first off, but Richards was there. Last tackle here for Wigan. Matty Smith with the kick right down the middle of the field, picked up by Adam Swift. Good chase by Wigan. So important the ball from the kicks hits the ground, just allows the onrushing players just a couple of seconds more to move forward.
And this is where all the players are to utilise their brains. You know, don't just get a bit of a brainstorm and give away a silly penalty. It's rough and it's tough out there. There's been a lot of verbals as well.
Well, St Helens are really grouped in the middle of the field. They could almost hold hands, they're so close together, and that makes it easier to defend against. You know, basically, just going to be one run down the middle. In fact, they've kicked it, so there's only about 2 or 3 players chasing this one, and Saints, wow, they need some energy from somewhere.
That's
well,
not bad.
Got there.
Yeah, it's not bad, Eddie. That's an earlier kick in the tackle count. He's found some ground, and as you said, the more times the ball bounces on the ground, the longer it spends down there, the more chance these chasers have to get up. Trap them down here, try and force an error. The ball will be greasy out there. We have an awful lot of rain. Pitch holding up well, despite the rain.
Gelling is held and put to the ground. Amor might have again tempted the referee to put the whistle to his mouth, but Farrell will bring it forward for the Warriors.
I get the impression that the referee Phil Bentham's enjoying this as well as the fans. And why not with collisions like that?
Solid run from Tony Clubb. Reached the last tackle again, this time for Wigan. And that kick is over the head of Makinson. Good kick too. It sticks in the mud a bit, and Makinson will run it back. Joel Tompkins gets to him. Well, it goes down one end and then it comes back the other and then it goes back the other. It's like a tennis match this. Your head's going from right to left and left to right. Swift.
I don't know about a tennis match. There's not much love out there, Eddie.
No. Mossy Massoy. Down he goes. Bateman picks himself up wearily from making that tackle. Here goes Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook.
What a big game, hasn't it?
He's been super.
Yeah,
he has for Saints.
And it's going to take something explosive. Maybe the error with the kick into the corner. That's good work from Roby. He knows what it's all about.
Yeah, he'll just hopefully tempt St Helens into making Wigan pay and drop the ball.
Hands Eddie go on hips, arms above, trying to suck oxygen in. There's some tired players out there on both sides. The ball was in play for quite a while there. As you said, going back and forward, up and down. The crowd are doing their very best. Huge St Helens contingent. And a massive Wigan following.
And you want 6 substitutions.
Yeah. I'm adamant, Eddie. I mean, you want cannonballs, you want to wrestle out of the game. Bring it down to 6 substitutions. You tire them out, so you're not bringing on fresh players. But it's an argument for another day. Just sit back and enjoy this.
Well, I'd like to argue for a winger trying to say, yeah, don't worry about it. The winger out there blowing his nose. Come on. Think about the forwards.
Think about men like Kieran Cunningham who have to marshal their troops in situations like this. They still trail by 2 points. They still trail Leeds Rhinos by 2 points at the top of the table. Leeds have beaten Castleford earlier today, if you missed it here on Sky Sports.
Wait. Goal 3.
Now then,
I've just looked at the stats, Eddie, and you know, there's only been three clean breaks by either side. That gives you some indication of the real solid defence.
And oops, that ball's gone to ground. Manfredi picks it up behind him. Mossing Masoy gets to him, but he keeps the ball going. Wigan playing here now with a little bit of freedom. Not for long, because they're surrounded by blue jerseys in the end. The ball, the referee shouted held, he'll bring it back.
Sorry, mate.
He'll bring it back and they'll play the ball.
Goal 5.
And the kick downfield from Matty Smith. And Matty Dawson picks it up for Saints.
1 now, John.
Yeah, there are so many tired players out there. They're walking back, and you just indicate, you know, this is where the smart players will just say, well, he's out on his feet. He may take a rest on the blind side, take advantage. That's another good run there, but can't discard, bro. That could have been a penalty, but good refereeing. Get on with it, it says.
He wanted a penalty twice there, Louis. Turner. Oh, Richards goes without it. There's the mistake by St Helens.
Well, he's come up with a couple of errors. I'm afraid you can't afford to do that. It'd be interesting to see what Kieran Cunningham does about whether he might take Richards off.
Well, numbers down, he has a problem, doesn't he, with 2 men probably not coming back.
Hey, we all make mistakes. It's how you deal with them that matters here now. They've made a mistake on the halfway line. That doesn't define this game, the outcome of this match.
Well, a 6 out of 10 interchanges for Wigan, 8 out of 10 for St Helens, and remember, they're down Paul Whelan, so Kieran Cunningham will have to be very astute in how he manages this, especially going into the last 20 minutes, who he leaves on the field, who he takes off. And coughing up the ball, making an error, that doesn't mean you have to concede a try. And I'm sure Richards will be to the forefront and making sure that doesn't cost his team. Having a great season, and he's playing his part in what is a terrific game here.
Lee Mossop for the Warriors. He had a lecture from his coach. We saw him talking quite intently to him in the dressing room at half-time. Williams and Farrell. No, the ball is behind everybody. Burgess picks it up and Matty Dawson picks him up.
Confusion there on the 3 quarters. They both went as dummy runners. Nobody wanted it. Bit of a loose pass.
Liam Farrell hangs on to the ball for Wigan. Last one then for Wigan. The kick is on its way. It's with Smith. Up it goes high. Now then. Oh, well claimed. Very well claimed, Adam Swift. My word.
Yeah, you talk about taking a catch under pressure.
That's a winger blowing his nose, is it? That's pressure. Back in your box.
I'll dig out the old DVDs of you, Brian, don't worry.
We saw him before, Steve. He copped one off Chris Joynt right across the face, and then he was pleading with the referee for the penalty.
Yeah, fully deserved as far as I've got to.
What, the smash in the face?
Yeah, because it was.
Here is Lancer Hyatt. No love lost out there, no love lost up here.
He's really fitted in well, you know, Lancer Hyatt. He's taking the responsibility. John Wilkin not out there, and of course, you know, Paul Wellens, he's off the field of play. Someone had to take it, and there he is getting involved in the tackle. His kicking game's been good in the second half.
So here comes Anthony Gelling for Wigan. They've lost Joe Greenwood, the Saints. They have also lost Paul Whelan, so numbers down and substitutes.
Knock on.
Oh, it's a knock on. I was going to say substitutes running out. The options for Kieran Cunningham. Here's a knock on. That's manna from heaven for the champions.
I think it was Gelling actually that got up, was it? I think Gelling placed the ball down. Yeah, and lost it.
As touches on the near side, Joe Cobb, he's coming with that call. He took about 3 shouts for Phil Bentham to get the message, but he's got it right.
Does anybody get a feeling for who might go on and win this game? I can't pick it.
It's impossible at the minute.
I really can't pick it. Every time I think St Helens are on the ropes, they're tiring, they come straight back into this game, and Wigan can't seem to crack them either.
Well, you're not on your own, Brian. I think there are thousands out there thinking the same way. Keep your money in your pocket. This could go either.
You know, we've had over 20 minutes, and Saints haven't had that chance where they get close to Wigan's try line. Maybe this set and a kick at the end of it could give it them. Because as I said in the first half, if they get close to a points try line, they are the best team in this competition at finding a way over it.
Well, if they can get anywhere near the line, and that's a knock on. Yeah, that'll be head and feet to Saints, I would imagine. I'm just going to make the point that, you know, the big Mossy Masoi, if they get anywhere near the line, his power could prove the difference. But they've got to get near this Wigan line.
Jordan Turner just asking about something that went on in back play. Was it a late tackle on him? And is he asking about possible shoulder charge maybe? But the referee said it was a push.
Look at all those players. They are completely out on their feet.
I don't know whether this fellow is. I don't know where he gets his energy from, Louis, but boy, he's been going like an express train all day, and he didn't like that from McIlaurin. Here is Amor.
I know where he gets it from. He's a Londoner. McCarthy Scarsbrook. He'll be on jelly deals and pie and mash.
Of course, this is Jordan Turner. Nearly through.
Another drive and get the big fella, Mossy Masoi.
This is the chance for St Helens, maybe. There's Mossy. They're playing towards their fans who are massed behind the sticks here. Roby, O'Hare, Nakinson. Good defence from Wigan.
Sargentson came to the rescue there.
Roby, short ball. Oh! Almost so close, Luke Thompson.
Brian Hampshire, take a bow. Thompson looked as though he was going to get over the line, and the fullback, Hampshire, just goes in at the vital moment, just turns him on his back.
So now we're going to have to move it away from their own line.
There's a resolve, Eddie, an honesty, an integrity on show from both of these sides here today. They're doing the game of rugby league proud. This is a brilliant performance from both of them. In difficult conditions, personnel-wise, atmosphere-wise, conditions-wise, they're doing brilliantly.
We've mentioned Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook a number of times. I think Liam Farrell deserves a mention as well. He's been outstanding for Wigan in the second row.
Well, you've got to say all the forwards especially, they've handled it. They've had to go through all the tough work. That's a great tackle. Good work by Williams again. He's proved his worth, but his selection as well. But you just get the impression, Eddie, that it's going to come down to an error. You know,
not many, have we?
No.
Oof. Turner's pass was just held on to by Flanagan. Well, this, with a quarter of an hour to go, is as intense as anything you wish to think about. Internationals, unbelievable.
We don't know which teams are going to make it to the grand final, but if these two did, then this is a great advert for people all around the country here now. An opportunity to get a ticket for the grand final right now, because if these are there, or even Leeds or any of the other sides, the intensity of these teams playing at their very best when the prize is as big as today, and you're guaranteed a wonderful sporting experience.
Not only that, there's a lot of players out there, Phil, that you know, the intensity of big games like this, you know they're on display. They can say, can they get into international level? Because this is what they've got to produce at that international level. Can they do it? The likes of Walmsley, he's certainly been out there. McCarthy Scarsbrook, he's been there.
There's a big collision then with Mark Flanagan, and he looked as though he was a bit groggy, but Flanagan is there again. 15 back in the defensive line. We've reached the fifth tackle again. And Matty Smith with the kick, which will not run dead, so Makinson will have to bring it back.
Eddie, this crowd that we've got in here today is bringing the best out of all of these players. We got excited, didn't we? Coming here knowing there were so many people going to come and watch this game. And I'm sure the players, when they went to bed last night and they woke up again this morning, were thinking, we got a derby and we got it in front of a full house. This is me on display, as Steve-O said. This is me trying to perform on the best possible stage.
Over 24,000 inside the ground here today.
And worth every
by a
penny.
mile, the biggest attendance of the season. And what an advert, what an advert. And here goes McCarthy Scarsbrook. He gets it away to Matty Dawson. He's lost it at Dawson.
Oh, it's errors like that. The players are getting tired. It was knocked out. I think you'll find it's George Williams that comes in and dislodges this ball. It was in the act of the tackle.
Classes a loose carry, that one. Absolutely right, the officials. He's got to protect that ball a bit more. He's just going to make the tackle. Knock-on's the right decision.
They're in no hurry to form this scrum.
They're out on their feet.
And then referee, he hasn't called time off either.
Well, I think Phil Bentham really just should have a word with McCarthy Scarsbrook there. The player put his arm on the official. We can do without that. I know he's trying to be friendly.
He was asking him to view the replay, and we've already done that, and he got it right.
Bateman hangs on for Wigan. Down he goes.
Mind you, referees don't get many cuddles, so maybe Bentham enjoyed it.
Inside the last 12 minutes, here comes Wigan with Farrell. Fed by Williams, tackled by O'Hare. Williams in there again. Wearily, Farrell gets to his feet. Mossop takes it forward. 4 tackles gone this set of 6. They're inching towards the line, Wigan, with Joel Tompkins.
Well, this is where Wigan really have to start building the real estate. Well, they shove it in the in-goal area. That's what I'd be doing.
Goes high. It goes high off the boot of Matty Smith. It's claimed by Adam Swift. They've been solid under the high ball, both sides.
Yeah, wingers, forwards, you name it. They've given their all. And there's still some to come.
We're approaching a half an hour, this second half now, with no scores and still entertaining. You can have games that are brilliant without scores.
And this is one of them. And here is Walmsley. And he's wrestled to the ground by Tony Clubb.
Got to be careful, Wigan. They're getting inside.
This is the last tackle for Saints. They're still in their own 20. Oh, has he not heard the call? I don't think he's heard the call, Richard. This is Wigan's big chance. This is Wigan's chance to win it.
It certainly is. And you can't blame it because the noise that has been generated by these Wigan fans. Little wonder he couldn't hear the call. I can hardly hear myself think.
Well, Tony Clubb just worked that out for 30 seconds in 3 consecutive tackles. He's given himself and the team here now a chance for real glory. I think the next score for Wigan wins this match. And they've got an opportunity of 30 metres out, 6 plays. With more of their attacking players in show here. Look, they're trying as often as they can to get to Lance Ohio, the 3rd defender in, the blue shirt on the far side of the field from the cameras.
Go back against this St Helens side defensively, Phil. They have been good this game.
And they're good again there with Roby. Halting that run from Lon Patrick. Here goes McAlorum. Now there's a chance here. He's over the line, isn't he? I'm sure he is.
I think he's short. He's short.
They'll take it back 10 metres. Saints keep them out. Tommy Makinson said to the referee, no way, no way. McAlorum, Smith, Williams to the in-goal area. Joe Burgess is mobbed by his teammates, but the referee has not given it yet, though on the field he says it is a try. He wants confirmation. He got it down at the right side of the whitewash.
And who can blame him with the scores as they are? Certainly the players are onside, so we go to the grounding. Does he keep his feet inside the dead ball line before he puts the ball down? I think he does. There it is. That's a try.
What a brilliant kick from George Williams. That was a planned move. There's no fluke about that. The standoff, winger combination.
Just listen to this now as this comes up. St. Helens lost their way. They miscounted. They were caught in possession just outside their own 20-metre line. Poor old Greg Richards. And as a result of that, the chance was offered and Burgess grasped it with both hands.
Tremendous effort from the youngster. They knew exactly what to do. It was on, it was called for, and Williams said, I will produce. And boy, he did just that. What a finish.
Could be a significant day, this, because Leeds have won. They're 2 points clear at the top. Wigan are gaining ground, not only on St Helens, but on the Rhinos. And Burgess has come up with a priceless try. Tries in all three against St Helens last year. Try here today in the first of 2015. And Rocky Hampshire now with the opportunity, you think, to wrap up the points.
A big smile there for Brian Hampshire, and I'm sure a big smile for Joe Burgess because he's missed several chances this season. More one or two tries when they were begging in front of him. He stayed calm and he showed great skill here to score an important try when his team and himself were under immense pressure in this match to get the next points on the board.
There you go.
But it's an 8-point margin and we have 8 minutes remaining.
Very smart play again, Eddie. The ball's gone 2 passes. That forces the St Helens defenders to come up. Williams spotted that. He knew that if it goes through the hands of Smith into the hands of Williams, that Dawson would be pulled up, Lance Ohio would be pulled up. He was able to dink the ball in behind. Makinson unable to get across. Calm play, and I would imagine George Williams, as a young player, will get an awful lot out of that little appearance, that little cameo he's just made in the game there.
I agree, Brian. He's had a great game. He's certainly contributed both in attack and defence. So has this guy as well. He's worked overtime. But you can't accuse anybody out there that's been on this field today that has not given 100%.
Well, any supporter of St Helens and Wigan worth his salt would be inside this ground tonight, and today rather.
And this is where the likes of Matty Smith now, and that fella at dummy half, Michael McAlorum, they've got the experience. They won't be caught. They'll make sure that the kick is good. It's on the last now. There he is. Oh, got the charge down.
Got the ricochet down. They've got 6 to go. Ryan Sutton will play the ball to McAlorum. Here is Tompkins. Wigan looking to wrap it up 100%. McAlorum again. Smith lays it off. Sutton. Big young prop forward, back after 2 out. Taken out of the firing line by Sean Wayne. Back in the action today. Solid tackle again from Wormsley.
He didn't like it, Matty Smith. It was a fair tackle as well.
Forward pass, says Phil Bentham.
He couldn't get it down either, Mossop. Well, now Wigan have to be pretty smart here. As normal, they don't utilise the full back when they pull the scrum down. St Helens, do they have the energy to maybe kick and chase?
Well, it would be great if they did have the energy. It would be great for the neutrals watching at home if they scored and gave us 5 or 6 minutes.
There's still time
to save it at the end. There is still time. And they've got the flyers with the likes of Swift and Makinson.
It's going to have to take something exceptional, Eddie. I think we all realise that. They have exceptional players out there. One of them just got up to play the ball, James Roby. You don't want him tackled with it. You want to quick play the ball. Somebody else has got to put their hands up, roll their sleeves up, elbows, knees, quick play the ball, and release James Roby or release some of those flyers you referred to.
Well, they went 6 games in a row before they were beaten by Hull Kingston Rovers last week. They're on the verge here of going 2 in a row without a win. The big Mossy comes forward.
Hampshire's dropping deep. Chip over the top, maybe. Who knows?
To ground it goes. O'Hare picks it up. Here's one of the flyers. Makinson gives it to big Mossy Massoy again. Oh, he get it away.
Went backwards. Play on.
Play on, says the referee. Flanagan.
Give it to Maher. Keep it alive.
Wormsley, another good effort, but that's the last. Roby. Turner. O'Hare.
Oh, I'm not so sure that was the right option. They had 3 men outside. I would have gone for broken, gone for the power play. Steady, steady.
Inside the last 5. An 8-point gap between Wigan and St Helens. A memorable Good Friday.
I was just about to say, up the jumper time, and they start playing as though it's a summer's afternoon. What on earth? You've taken a 12-4 lead, and you're trying to play fancy.
Well, there's a discussion going on between James Roby, Lance O'Hare and Jordan Turner. That is the triangle. We've just seen them before the scrum was packed, conversing, coming up with a plan. They have time on the clock, as you said, Steve-O. It will be one of the great comebacks in a game. If they're to go and score now, put themselves within 2 points of winning this game, or drawing this game.
Well, over the seasons, many seasons, if there's one side that has come back, it has to be St Helens.
St Helens and the word comebacks are synonymous. Wormsley drives it in. They've got 4 tackles remaining. They have to score this set if we're going to get a grandstand finish. And Makinson has backed himself, tip over the top and picked up by Hampshire, who nearly lost his head, has conceded a penalty, and I think St Helens have conceded the game.
Yeah, I think he realises it as well. To be fair, Makinson has gone back to the fullback Hampshire and said, I'm sorry. And no doubt the young fullback will say, yeah, OK, apologise all you want, we've got the vital 2 points. And I think that just about does it, and I think he knows it as well.
I think that's really nice sportsmanship that he does go back and apologise. He hasn't done it intentionally. Nice to see 2 young players playing in the right spirit.
Forget about the high shot. I'd be very surprised if the conversation between O'Hare, Roby and Turner came up with Makinson, a decision for Makinson to kick, I think, on the second tackle. That was, you'd only imagine he's taken that into his own hands and frustrated with himself for the decision he's come up with and gave away a penalty then.
I agree. Bit of a brainstorm at a vital moment.
Well, it looks like they have the Indian sign over the Saints at Easter, don't they, Wigan? This run of wins home or away at this time of the year goes on.
There's Dan Sargent, he's been pretty impressive for them. Don't forget, it was his old teammate, Kieran Dixon of the Hemel Stags, who won the man of the match last night. Not as impressive for Dan Sargent's performance here today, but I'll tell you what, the club there over this weekend, the Hemel Stags must feel very proud with what they've helped to develop in this sport.
Ooh,
out on the full, I thought so. I'm sure that hit the whitewash. The touch judge has a good view.
The touch judge is convinced.
I'm not. Oh.
Perfect.
Deary me. That's got a bit of whitewash on it, hasn't it?
Well, it looks at it on that second shot. Well, don't forget he's got the live view. Let's be fair to him. It's very slow, and that's his view. And it looks like there's plenty of the ball in the field of play.
Well, Wigan will not be arguing about that.
It was a skimmer, inches.
You know, it's always difficult, Eddie, in a match like this, where everybody has given everything, to pick out the man of the match. I'd love to be able to give the award to the entire team on both sides. This has been tremendous.
Hang on, is there a finish? Is there a twist in the tail? No, there isn't. Hampshire does brilliantly. Absolutely brilliantly, Hampshire.
It's been a day for the young kids. Remember the beautiful kick from George Williams. that looks as though it's wrapped it up. From the try to Joe Burgess, and now this wonderful finish and the tackle on another youngster.
Oh, that's great. That is a great cover tackle. He never takes his eyes off him, pulls the legs in together and drags him over to the sideline. He's keeping Matty Bowen out of the team at the moment. And he's made his coach Sean Wayne proud, and he's justified Sean Wayne's decision to run with the young Ryan Hampshire. When somebody with so much experience and such a great player as Matty Bowen is breathing down your neck, you can keep him out of the team. That's a huge tribute to the young man.
Well, they've gained a little bit of revenge for the Old Trafford defeat here today, have the Wigan Warriors. 12-4, and we're entering the final minute.
The tickets for the rematch go on sale tomorrow.
Oh,
because
they should.
Everyone in the ground seems to have enjoyed it by the way they've been singing for the last 5 minutes. Even the Saints supporters have contributed. One of the best atmospheres I've experienced in at least the last 10 years.
Tremendous game. Absolutely tremendous entertainment for a Good Friday.
And right to the final second, and we're not far off the hooter. They will still be giving it to the opposition. There's no letting up on this one.
Well, St Helens will take their trophy back to Langtree Park tonight, but boy, they know that to defend it in 2015 is going to take one heck of an effort. And Smith, with all the experience in the world, just bumps the ball into touch. They know they've won it. Yeah. No one's in a hurry here to form this scrum.
Well, everybody should stand a standing ovation for all these players.
Well, they're all on their feet. Around the ground now, everyone's on their feet.
It's been a classic.
One second to go, the referee's called time off. Sean Wayne smiling for the first time. He's smiling for the first time this afternoon. Ohio with the kick and chase. And Wigan, they pick it up with Gelling. And there's a knock on, and that's the end of the match. And Wigan have won a sensational contest. I must say that Phil Bentham refereed it magnificently as well. Sean Wayne and Kieran Cunningham, Wigan born, St Helens born, and Wigan win the prize today. There's not too much to worry about for either of these clubs, though. They're going to make an effort to get all the way to Old Trafford this year. And it's a day to savour for the Wigan Warriors. Well, Rod Studd has got the man of the match with him, one of the young bucks of Wigan. There he is, George Williams.
George, really well done. Just tell us what that means to everyone at Wigan, bearing in mind what happened in the grand final 6 months ago.
Oh, mate, that means everything. What a win that was, and listen to the crowd, it means everything to the town.
A full house here. Just how tough a game was that to play in? Brutal, it looked like.
Yeah, real tough. The middle's dug deep, and fair play to St Helens. They was there today, and it was a real tough match.
I know everyone at Wigan was talking about turning the season round over Easter. We know it's been a tough start. A couple of wins over Easter can make all the difference.
Yeah, we targeted these games, and the boys are really dug in and made up. I'm really buzzing.
Just give us a word for the crowd, because, as I say, 24,000 in. What have the Wigan fans done for you today?
Oh, they've done everything. Credit to them, listen to them. I'm from Wigan, I love this. I'm buzzing.
I can tell you, well played, George. Thanks for talking to us. I think Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook's going to come across and join us. Louis, we appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us, much appreciated. You've given everything there, the whole St Helens squad. Bearing in mind you lost players to injury as well. Just express what it means to lose it after putting so much in.
Oh, obviously, bitterly disappointed. We grinded it out there, and we played as a unit, and we played as a team. Obviously, we've lost some key players as we did last year, but we went all the way to the glory. So we can only learn. We learned from last week, and we put in a very good performance this week. And obviously, it wasn't good enough, but I know that as a team that we'll get better. And as the season goes on, we'll get players back, and we'll group and we'll push on for honours again.
Well, thanks for talking to us, Louis. All the best. Sean Wayne's here. Sean, I bet you'd like to have played in that, wouldn't you? Just tell us what it was like watching it and coaching your winning side in a derby on Good Friday.
Oh, it's a good feeling, and that was like a win at all costs, and I've got a lot of respect for Kieran and his team. They're a good club, and that makes that victory a bit more special, because I know they're well coached and they're a good bunch, and they're a bit busted, we're a bit busted, but they're a class team. But I was impressed with our players today. They showed some guts. We didn't, our end of sets in the last third was a bit poor, but we showed a lot of determination in D, and we got our players on in the other 2/3. So a lot of positives today. That was a real Wigan.
Well done, Sean. You've closed the gap on the top. Thanks for talking to us.
Thanks very much.
Kieran Cunningham's here. Kieran, I know it's tough when you lose a derby, and we thank you for talking to us. It's been a tough couple of matches, and you've lost so many key players to injury as well. Just give us your verdict, Kieran, if you could.
Oh, it's tough. I mean, I'm so proud of my players, so resilient, and we lose 2 players again tonight, and young Joe Greenwood comes back, and we lose a back rower, and then Willow can't continue after half time, and you've got to swap all your team round. You lose 2 subs, and it really does hurt you, but some of those forwards, you just played such big minutes, I'm proud of him, and that's a great stage, Wigan derby, it doesn't matter what happens and who gets injured, or you just carry on, and it's a tussle, and we had our chances at times, we didn't attack that great, but we didn't have any half-backs, and I'm really proud of what the players did, I'm really, really proud, and it's all I wanted today was a performance, and I feel like that's what I got off my team, true grit and determination, so we look forward to Monday.
You certainly got a performance. Thanks for talking to us, Kieran.
Thank you.
Well, they have to come back again on Monday after this epic match. John Wells.
It was, Eddie. I'm going to show you the key moment from that game. It came on the 70th minute. It was a piece of defence from the Wigan Warriors. This typified their performance for the entire game. That was the 4th tackle. What I've got to ask though, Lance O'Hare is calling. He wants 2-man out to the kick. Doesn't get it. Wrong decision. And then off the back of that set up Wigan with some superb field position. 72nd minute. I'm going to pick out your man of the match, George Williams. I take you back to the 20th of March, round 6 at Leeds. They lost the game, but this was an identical play that put Burgess in the wing. Those two worked so well together, and that's why George Burgess is in the match, and that's why he's got a massive future at this Wigan Warriors club, Eddie.
Fantastic, and the players, of course, now will savour the moment, but they will soak some weary bones and bodies, and they will come back on Monday and try to do it all over again. Manfredi, whose try in the first half set Wigan on the way to this victory. The 2 young guns on the wing then, Manfredi and Burgess, Smith and Hampshire with the kicks, McCarthy, Scarsbrook for the Saints, who are 2 points now behind Leeds. Wigan suddenly are up to 3rd and looking menacing. Wow, well, that's your Super League for Good Friday. Coming next here on Sky Sports 1, FL 72, Ipswich against Bournemouth, and then at 7:30 it's Derby against Watford. And we will be back on Easter Monday for Warrington Castleford at 2:40, Sky Sports 1, and we round up a brilliant Easter so far with the Catalan Dragons against Widnes Vikings at 4:55 on Sky Sports 2. So the champions, having won 6 in a row, have now lost 2 in a row. Wigan are hovering in 3rd place in the First Utility Super League table. It's all to play for the rest of the season, and we'll be back on Monday with the next instalment.
And then she's here, and then she's gone.
Leeds have a full number on board. They've got numbers on the boards. Joel moves. Cuthbertson gets the pass away superbly to Hall.
Ladbrokes, proud sponsor of the Super League on Sky Sports.
Sky Bet, bringing great value to all our customers with Soccer Saturday Price Boost. This weekend's Price Boost, Man United, Swansea and West Brom all to win is on your screen now. And if you're new to Sky Bet, you can also take advantage of our generous sign-up offer. Place a £5 bet and we'll give you a £20 free bet in return. Sky Bet, boosting Man United, Swansea and West Brom to win for all customers. Are you in?
The promise of the cloud is that every organization has unlimited access to information, no matter where they are.
The Microsoft Cloud gives our team the power to instantly deliver critical information to people whenever they need it. Here at AccuWeather, we get up to 10 billion data requests every day. The cloud allows us to scale up so we can handle that volume, and we can help keep people safe. To us, that feels really good.
Nivea Man Stress Protect Deodorant. Proven protection even in stressful situations.
Lads, we're late.
Works against stress sweating. Works against body odor. Nivea Man Stress Protect Deodorant. Nivea Man, it starts with you.
Wow.
It's good, but it's not quite Carling.
Make the most of your bank holiday with Carling.
It's Easter on Sky Movies, and we bring to you over 1,000 great movies, from the classics to the new. So if you're one of the team, or the leader in command, we've got so much to choose from. Superstar! And it's all on demand. Because if you're looking to snuggle, dance, or rejoice, yes! With over 1,000 great movies, we'll leave you spoiled for choice.
You're watching Sky Sports 1, your home of football.
Did that cross the line there? It's close. You need to look at that again. Can't quite tell from that angle. No, it definitely didn't.
Screwfix sponsors Sky Sports coverage of the Football League.
Yes, with just 4 weeks remaining and only 7 games to go in this absorbing championship season, we have 4 of the front runners all in action this Good Friday evening. First, we're in East Anglia at Portman Road, where Ipswich Town take on Bournemouth. Both sides full of confidence after big wins against promotion rivals before the international break. Once we're finished at Portman Road, we turn our attention to the East Midlands and the iPro Stadium as 2 more of the promotion contenders go head-to-head. Derby County, who are on their worst run of the season, meet a Watford side who, despite defeat to Ipswich last time out, have won 5 of their last 7. And there has already been significant action in the Sky Bet Championship this Good Friday afternoon. Significant defeat for Rotherham by 2-1 away to Birmingham City. Massive win for Norwich, adding to that win against Forest last time out. 1-0 winners against Brighton and their old manager Chris Hughton. Brilliant win for Brentford by 4-1.